Guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. Another gorgeous summer day here in Long Island, New York. But I am in full gear getting ready for my fall vegetable garden. And in today's video, we're going to talk about growing carrots in our home garden. We're going to talk about how to grow carrots from seed all the way to harvest, guys. And I'm gonna share some very easy yet proven gardening tips with you on how you can grow lots and lots of delicious, long, and perfectly shaped carrots in your home gardens. So for those of you looking for that online garden channel that offers tips, tricks, easy yet proven gardening advice to take your home garden to that next level, stick around, guys. Start with clicking the subscribe button below. And if you like the content of my videos, if you think my videos are useful, helpful, informative, click the bell icon as well, guys. YouTube will notify you every time I'll upload a new garden video. Now come with me, let's talk all about growing carrots in our home garden from seed to harvest. Growing carrots for years and years in my home garden. In fact, I still remember pulling these delicious, sweet root vegetable from my parents' summer house garden when I was a little kid. It's such a fun root vegetable to plant, to grow, and of course, to harvest. How exciting to be able to come into your own home garden and pull these sweet, delicious babies out of the soil and to taste the sweetness and the crunchiness. But I know that there are so many questions out there when it comes to sowing, growing, and even harvesting carrots. But we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves now talking about harvesting. In today's video, I'm going to share all the tricks and the tips with you so you can grow this amazing, rewarding, and delicious vegetable in your own home garden. If you ever tried growing carrots, but ever had a problem with that, so whether you couldn't get your seeds to germinate, whether they germinated and you maybe did not thin them properly and accordingly, maybe your carrots came out looking funky and or misshaped. If you had ever any problems when it came to growing carrots, then join me today, guys. Then this video is for you. In today's video, I'm gonna cover all the concerns, all the questions that you guys might have had or currently have. And after today's video, you're gonna feel so confident, and I promise you, you're going to sow these babies for your fall garden as soon as you're done watching today's video. To get into harvesting these delicious root vegetables, let's start out with some basics first when it comes to carrots. First and foremost, carrots do not, and I repeat again, do not like to be transplanted. Always sow your carrot seeds directly into the soil of your home garden. If you're growing your carrots in a raised garden bed, sow them directly in a raised garden bed. If you're growing your carrots in a container, sow them directly in a container. They do not like to have their root system disturbed. Second, very important fact to remember about carrots. Carrots are a cool weather loving crop. So you must sow and grow carrots either in the early spring and harvest them before the peak heat of summer comes, or at the very end stage of summer, maybe even early fall, so you can harvest them before cold weather hits. Also remember, guys, that most carrot varieties take anywhere between 60 to 80 days from seed to harvest. So you should always consider your first anticipated frost date, your last anticipated frost date if you're planting in the spring, and always make sure that you have plenty of time for your carrots to grow and to mature before you harvest them. Also, very important thing to remember and consider when you're choosing the correct location, the spot to plant your carrot seeds. Carrots love and thrive in full sun. So ideally, no less than 4 hours of sunlight per day. Where I planted my carrots, this raised garden bed gets at least 8 hours of sunlight per day. And look at this lush green growth. The carrots are loving it and thriving exactly where I planted them and growing them. When planting, growing carrots, you should always sow and grow your carrots in very airy, loose, non-compact soil with plenty of good drainage. Carrot is a root vegetable that will not thrive and will come out misshapen if it's planted and grown in a dense, compact soil, especially if there's lots of clay and or rocks in that soil. So if you are growing your carrots in a raised garden bed like I do, or even in a container, make sure that your soil is loose, airy, well draining, and absolutely does not have any rocks in its composition, or you will end up getting funky looking, misshapen, short carrots. The soil in your home garden is very dense, very compact, has a lot of clay or rocks in it. And let's pretend there's no way around it. There's no way you can amend the soil, change up the soil. There is another great option, guys, when it comes to growing carrots. These beauties will absolutely grow perfectly fine in containers. However, when choosing a container, make sure that it is at least 12 inches deep and just as wide if you want your carrots to be the perfect width and perfect length. One of the most common questions that I hear when it comes to growing carrots is, why do my carrots come out funky looking, misshapen? Well, guys, easy answer to that is that a carrot is a root vegetable. It's a tap root, meaning it has that one main root that wants to grow straight down. However, when there's absolutely any obstruction to that tap root, such as a rock or very dense clay or soil, that tap root will fork. What does forking mean? Meaning it's gonna do whatever it takes, curve, bent. It's gonna try to do whatever it takes to go around that object that is in that root's way. So this is one of the reasons why you guys might end up with misshapen or funky looking carrots. And again, guys, make sure that the soil you're using has no clay, no obstruction of any sort, and absolutely no rocks in it if you want to end up with long, straight, and delicious carrots. Another very common question that I hear when it comes to sowing and growing carrot from seed is, why are my carrot seeds, the seedlings, why they're not appearing, why the seeds are not germinating? Guess what, guys? Carrots are one of those stubborn root vegetables that will make you wait and wait until they will come about from the ground and germinate. Don't be surprised if carrots will take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks from sowing until you will see those seedlings germinate. And I know that many of us home gardeners can get quite impatient. We wait a week, we wait 2 weeks, and then we start blaming ourselves. We start thinking that we did something wrong. No, guys, give it some time. Keep checking daily, and I promise you, in about 2 to 3 weeks, you should see your carrot seedlings come about and germinate. Now let's go back to the topic of funky looking or misshapen carrots. So what's another possible reason why your carrots come out funky looking or misshapen? If you guys have added manure, if you amended your soil with manure in the area where you're growing your carrots in the last 6 to 12 months, you might and most likely will end up with funky looking or misshapen carrots. Added manure to the soil in your home garden or raised garden bed or even a container in which you're growing your carrots will most likely come out looking misshaped. Why? because that manure will cause your carrot to fork. So if you are planning to grow carrots, try not to amend your soil with manure at least 6 to 12 months before you sow and grow carrots in that soil. Another easy yet proven gardening tip that I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to sowing carrot seeds. I always highly encourage and recommend watering the soil in your garden, in your raised garden bed, or even a container prior to you sowing the seeds versus after. The carrot seeds are so tiny. You do not want to spray them with water afterwards and completely dislodge them or move them out of the positioning in which you place them. So it's a good idea to always water the soil first, then sow the seeds, and then sprinkle some soil on top of the seeds. I know I already said that carrots are a cool weather loving vegetable, but yet another amazing thing about carrots is that they can even tolerate light frost. So if you sow your seeds, put some mulch on top or some straw or even some leaves. Say cold weather comes before you even anticipated it. It's okay, guys. Your carrots are still going to be fine. They can and will tolerate light frost. And you know what else is amazing, guys? That light frost, that cold weather will only make them sweeter and crunchier, which is exactly what we want. Those of you, my fellow gardeners, who say have limited garden space or limited container sizes, don't despair. There are so many different carrot seed varieties now out there. You can always check out the picture or the detailed description on the back of your seed packets. And again, ideally, you need at least 12 inches in depth to get long and perfectly shaped carrots. But again, there are those varieties that you can get and grow that do not require all 12 inches of depth and width. There are varieties that are much, much shorter and will thrive in shorter, more shallower containers, or say even in a more shallow raised garden bed. So check out the different varieties of seeds that your garden centers and nurseries have to offer and to sell to you. Another very important fact to mention when it comes to sowing and growing carrot from seed is the carrot seeds require constant and continuous moisture in order to germinate. Those seedlings have to stay wet and moist if you want them to germinate. So if there's a lack of moisture, even months down the road, do not expect your carrots to germinate. So make sure that you provide constant daily waterings and hydration to that soil if you want to see these seeds germinate. Another very easy yet proven gardening tip I want to share with you guys when it comes to growing carrot from seeds. After I sow my carrot seeds, I cover them with about 1/4 of an inch of soil, loose, airy, fluffy soil. I make sure that my soil is thoroughly wet, moist. I like to place either a piece of cardboard or a thin piece of wood on top of the soil in my raised garden bed, and I leave it there. How does that help me? Either the cardboard, if we're not anticipating any rain in the forecast, or the wood board will help retain that moisture level in the soil, and it will also help protect my seedlings from either intense sun and or unanticipated light frost. However, if you are using a cardboard or wood or any other covering, you must check on your seedlings daily. You do not want to suffocate them. As soon as your seedlings are about 1 inch in height, it is absolutely the time to remove that covering and to keep it off to allow your seedlings to continue to grow. Those of you, my fellow southern gardeners, sometime in November, your weather starts to cool down, drastically cool down. And in fact, November is the perfect timing for you to get out on there and sow these beautiful carrot seeds. And the perfect growing time for carrots in the southern regions is November through March. Come March, or maybe even early April, that will be the perfect time to start harvesting these crunchy, sweet, delicious carrots. Another very common question I hear very often when it comes to growing carrot from seed is, why are my carrots coming out to be on the smaller side? Say you followed all the rules that we just spoke about, yet your carrots are still coming out small in the sizing. What is it that you may be doing wrong? One of the possible causes as to why your carrots are coming out to be on the smaller side is a thinning issue. And let's talk about this. It's so easy, guys, to overcrowd our carrots. And why? Because the carrot seeds are absolutely tiny. I know we do our best when we're sowing our carrots to give them the proper spacing that they need. In fact, in order for the carrots to be as large and as healthy as they're meant to be, there should be at least 1 inch of space between each of the carrots. You could see how tiny the carrot seeds are, regardless of the variety. So when you are sowing the carrots from seed, be prepared that when your carrot seedlings get to be about 2 inches tall, you will need to thin out your seedlings to ensure that they have the proper spacing in between to grow. Best way to thin our seedlings, and again, this is another gardening tip that I want to share with you guys, is to trim the seedlings. Of course, you can get in there and start pulling them, but remember, carrots are a tap root vegetable, and by having so many little seedlings so close to each other, believe me, there's so much going on there below that soil level. Their root system might be intertwined. So if you're thinking that you're just pulling one seedling out, there's a very high chance that by pulling that one seedling out, you are disturbing the root system of that seedling that you are intending to keep, that stronger, more dominant seedling. So I always advise to take tiny little scissors or maybe pruning shears and to trim the unwanted seedlings versus pull them out of the soil. Another easy yet proven gardening tip that I want to share with you guys when it comes to thinning our carrot seedlings is you always want to look for the bigger, the more healthier looking, the more dominant looking seedling. And then you thin off anything around that one healthier, more dominant looking seedling that you picked. You want to ensure that you have at least 1 inch of space between each of the carrot seedlings if you want them to grow and thrive to the size that the variety is meant to be. The many of us home gardeners tend to over nurture our plants, our seedlings, thinking that we are just destroying our home garden by thinning, by pruning. But no, guys, you must always thin your carrot seedlings. Why? Because you do not want to overcrowd them. You do not want the seedlings to compete for nutrients, for spacing, even for the water. So by thinning your carrot seedlings, you're not destroying your home garden. You're not killing anything. In fact, you're doing the best for your home garden and for your carrots. Another easy yet proven gardening tip that I want to share with you guys today when it comes to growing carrots from seed is make sure that the soil in which you're growing your carrots is continuously moist, not only during the period of germination, but throughout the entire growing season. If you want your carrots to turn from this to looking like this, then keep that soil continuously moist. that helps ensure the sweetness, the crunchiness, and of course the perfect shape to your carrots. When it comes to harvesting our carrots, harvesting is very, very easy, guys. All you have to do is move the green leafy part away from your carrots and look at the top of your carrot above the soil level. And if it looks like it is the size of the carrot that you planted, the correct shape, correct diameter, then it is absolutely the correct time to harvest that carrot. If you do not see the carrots appearing above the soil level, or say it's still relatively small, then you can leave that carrot in the ground for a little bit longer. What is the proper way to harvest our carrots from the soil? We must pull and twist the carrots at the same time. The carrots should easily slip out and come out of your soil. If you are having problems pulling that carrot out of the soil, then a very good gardening tip that I can give you is water your soil thoroughly, and your carrots should slip right out of that soil. Guess who came to join me today in today's video, guys? My little garden helpers. I have my Mila over here. Yeah, you guys know Julia. You know her very well, guys. She's one of my top garden helpers here. And I have my son, Leonard. And they came to join me because it is time to harvest some of my early spring planted carrots. It's such an exciting time, and you know what, guys, it's such a fun activity to do with your kids, to let them help you in your garden, to let them help you harvest those delicious carrots that you've grown. Who's excited to pick some carrots? Oh, let's get started, guys. Let's see what kind of carrots we have. Here is my son Leonard. He's going to help me harvest our first carrot. Look at that. Look at the huge, beautiful, straight carrot that we grew. Wow. Here we are harvesting the second carrot. Remember, pull and twist. Show us the carrot. Whoa. Look at that big, big, beautiful straight. Is it straight?
Kind of.
I think it's straight enough, man. And remember, guys, if you are growing your carrots in a raised garden bed like I do, the depth of your raised garden bed should also be at least 12 inches if you want your carrots to come out long and straight. Our Julia and Mila also trying to help me harvest some carrots. Twist and pull. Get another one there. Twist and pull. Show us the carrot, Mila. Wow.
So easy.
It was easy. Did you like pulling that carrot out?
Yeah.
Let's show the carrot. Look how nice and straight and long it is. How exciting. And there's Julia. Come on, baby. Let's see. Twist and pull. Twist and pull. You got it. Show us the carrot. Wow. Careful, careful over there. Oh my goodness. We got another carrot. Very easy, yet very important harvesting tip that I want to share with you guys when it comes to carrots. As soon as you pulled your carrot out of the ground, always remove the green leafy parts. Why? Because you don't want to send the signal to your carrot root thinking that it still needs to provide and support these green leaves. You do not want all the moisture to go from the root to the leafy greens. You do not want to get your carrots dry, as if it'll dry out, it will lose its crunchiness and its sweetness. We no longer want the root to provide any energy, any nutrition to the leafy green. The leafy green part is now done. We want to keep all the sweetness, the crunchiness, and the moisture in the carrot root itself.